Good morning, students. Welcome to today's physical education class. Today, we are starting with Unit 8, that is Biomechanics and Sports. In this, we are going to study meaning and importance of biomechanics, types of movement, and last, Newton's law of motion and its application in sports. Before that, if you are watching in YouTube, please subscribe our channel, or if you are watching in Facebook, please follow our Facebook page. So, without wasting the time, let us begin the class. So, let us start with the meaning of biomechanics. So, biomechanics derived from Greek words. Bio means living things and mechanics is the field of physics. Thus, it's a branch of science which deal with the force related to body movement. Biomechanics is defined as systematic study of machines of the body joints. So after this, we can say that the study and analysis of human movement patterns in sports is called biomechanics. And the study of the structure and function of biological systems such as humans, animals, plants, organs, and cells by means of the method of mechanics. The application of mechanical laws to living structures. We can say that is biomechanics. Importance of biomechanics. What is the importance of biomechanics in the field of sports? Improvement of technique. Biomechanics help to improve technique. It determines how the technique should be executed to get best result. With the help of biomechanics principle, the physical education teacher correct a mistake. This help in improving the game and performance of the player. For example, shifting from orthodox to discovered technique in shot put. With this, we understood man 4 points in that. What are the 4 points? Let me tell you. Number A, correct or rectify the errors of a sports person to improve the execution of a skill. That we understood the first point. The second point, discover a new and more effective technique for performing a sports skill. Third is qualitative biomechanical analysis for correction. The fourth one is quantitative biomechanical analysis for discovering new techniques. For example, you can say the Fosbury flop and straddle technique in high jump. Next is improve performance in sports. Principles of biomechanics tell us about right technique, effective aim, result oriented posture to get more efficient result by applying minimum muscular force, which in turn improves performance in sports. With this, we understood main 3 points. Number one is by utilizing biomechanics principle, we can improve our techniques. Number two, by utilizing biomechanics principle, we can improve equipment. Third one is by utilizing biomechanics principle to reduce the risk of sports related injuries. Next is development of improved sports equipment. The principle of biomechanics are used to modify the sports equipments. For example, t-shirt, running spikes, swimming costumes, hockey sticks, different size of footballs, and low weight helmet for protection. What we understood with this, number one, help in improving the design of the equipment. Shoe and sports clothes design improved. Number three is better equipment improves performance and reduce the risk of injuries. Next one is better rackets in racket games. Better helmet to reduce risk of injury in ice hockey, football and many other games. Next is aerodynamic clothing in skiing, speed skating, cycling, swimming, etc. Next is prevent sports injuries. It helps to find out the factor or the force that can lead to the injury during the game situation. It also helps in prevention of sports injuries. So we understood main 3 points from this explanation. Number one is identify the causes of injury. It identifies the reason of the injury, how it got. Second is help in process of rehabilitation. The third is by identifying cause and rehabilitation exercise changes are made in technique, equipment to reduce the risk of sports related injuries. Next is help to understanding the human body. It gives the knowledge of the different system of our body. For example, nervous system, muscular system and skeletal system. The knowledge of biomechanics provides the teachers and learner with a better understanding of human body and various internal and external forces that affect human movement. Next, improvement of the training. Teacher can analyze the player's movement or action with the help of biomechanical principle. It helps to improve the training. Let me explain you a little bit further. Mechanical analysis of the technical deficiencies of a sports person helps to identify the type of training which he required, which type of training we have to give him. Next is the weak areas may be strength, endurance, speed or movement or body action. We can work on that area. Next is customized training can be imparted to the sports person. We can give them the customized training. Improving teaching and learning process. In physical education and sports, each activity usually involved some type of movements. Biomechanics helps in moving the body with precision or accuracy, which ultimately helps in enhancing the sports performance. So it can be allowed that biomechanics help in improving teaching and learning process. So let me explain you three things we learned from this point. Number one is biomechanics helps in moving the body with precision. Next is understanding the biomechanics helps the teacher to take right decision. Number third is understanding of biomechanics helps sports person to learn his weaker areas and provide motivation to correct the action posture to enhance performance and prevent injuries. So now at last, in conclusion, it can be said that biomechanics is significant in improving sports performance, reducing the risk of injuries, improving techniques, equipment design, and promote safety. So our next topic is types of movement. So there are various type of movement in joints, which may be divided into four major kinds. One is gliding, angular, circumduction and rotation. So let's first talk about gliding movement. What is the gliding movement? Gliding movement is the simplest kind of motion that can take place in a joint. One surface gliding or moving over another without any regular or rotary movement. Through it is a very common in all movable joints, but in most of the articulation of the corpus and tarsus. It is the only motion permitted. So you can see in the picture also that we can call gliding movement. Next is angular movement. The angular movement occur around the axis. It is rotation of body around its axis. The athlete produce angular movement around its joint. It occur when all point of a body or object move in circle about the same fixed center line or axis. So there are various movement which comes under angular movement. So my partner Amarnath Reddy will explain you that.
Flexion. Bending a part of your body at the joint so that the angle between them decreases or coming closer. Two parts come closer or together is called flexion. Extension. Straightening your body part at the joint so that the angle between them increases is called extension. Flexion, extension, flexion, extension, flexion, extension, flexion, extension, flexion, extension, flexion, extension, extension, flexion, extension, flexion, flexion, extension, flexion, extension. Abduction, moving a part away from your middle line. Horizontally, your upper limbs are raised in 90 degrees to your side body is called abduction. Adduction, moving your body part towards your middle line is called abduction, or returning your upper limbs to the original position is called adduction. Abduction, adduction, 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 abduction, adduction. Circumduction. Circumduction takes place between the head of a bone and articular cavity. It is the combination of flexion, extension, abduction, adduction. Now, moving body. This is known as circumduction. Rotation. Rotation is a form of movement in which a bone moves around a central axis without undergoing any displacement from this axis. Moving a part around an axis is called rotation. Hands rotation. Reverse. Hip rotation. Reverse. Neck rotation. Reverse. Thank you.
So our next topic is Newton's laws of motion and their application in sports. So when exploring the area of biomechanics and human movement, it is useful to look at the motion through the observation made by Sir Isaac Newton. Newton was a famous 17th century scientist who developed the three laws that govern all motion. Here is a Newton's first law. A body continues in its state of rest or uniform motion unless acted upon by an unbalanced force. In other words, a body will remain at rest or in motion unless acted upon by a force. In order to get a body moving, a force must overcome the body's tendency to remain at rest or inertia. The amount of inertia a body has depends on its mass. In a simple word, a body at rest will remain at rest and a body in motion will remain in motion at the same speed and in the same direction unless acted upon by an external force. So here are some examples in the field of sports how we will use this law in the field of sports. Starting in rowing, starting in sprinting, starting in throwing the hammer. So let me give you one simple example in the field of sports. See, if a football is kept in the on the ground, so it will remain on the ground until you kick that or until some external force move that. So if the football you kicked the football will be in the motion in the running until some external force stop it. So that is the first law of motion. Okay. So this law also known as law of inertia. So here is the Newton's second law. The acceleration of an object is directly proportional to the force causing it, is in the same direction as the force, and is inversely proportional to the mass of the object. In a simple word, when a force is applied to an object, it will move in the direction the force was applied, and depending on the size of the force and the size of the object will accelerate accordingly. So here, smaller object will move faster than a larger one. A greater force will move an object faster than a smaller force. If two equal forces are applied to objects of different masses, the lighter mass will travel at faster speed. This law is also applied in various sports. For example, in hammer throw, the thrower who is stronger will throw the hammer faster than a thrower who is the less power or less strong. So let me give you one example from the field of cricket. Suppose two bowlers are there. One is spinner and one is fast bowler. So when they will bowl, the fast bowler ball will travel very fast. Okay, it will travel more distance. And the spinner's ball will travel less distance. Why? Because those who are fast bowler, they will put force on that. And the spinner, they will put less force on that. So that is the meaning of this law. Okay, and this Newton's second law, also known laws of acceleration. So here is the Newton's third law. For every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. There are so many examples in the field of sports where this law applied. So let me give you the example of swimming. A swimmer pushes the water backward. The water pushes the swimmer forward with the same force. The second example I will give you from the shooting. In shooting, when a gun or pistol is fired, the bullet moves forward, the gun or pistol jerk backward. Okay, so now this third law also known as a law of reaction. So here are some important questions. Please try to solve it. If you feel any difficulty, please let me know in the comment section. With this, we came to the end of this class. Thanks for joining the class. If you like the video, please subscribe the channel for upcoming videos.